I don't know. I think we're going to align the Constitution by changing a few things so that we can have the zonal units and all that. That's now we have our own congregational unit.
Yes.
About the members.
Yes. The zonal concept. You want to add?
I have two other questions. You want to answer this one before we go on? Okay. Now, the transition from the youth ministry to the men ministry. That's also an area very great challenge for us. I don't know what policy head office has set in place. So if you would speak to that as well for us, that would be great. Then I want to find out, over the years, has head office made any investment that brings in money apart from the support from the congregation? If you take the Methodist Church, they have a download insurance that they have set up. The Catholic Church has vanity insurance. What about us? I don't know. Because most of the issues that we have, or most of the challenges that we have at the congregational level, is 70% that we send to the others. So it leaves us hardly anything for us to do our own projects. You can testify to that yourself. So our thinking is that much as head office expects of us to keep our books, pay our remittances properly, we also expect the head office to also do some investment that can bring in money so that at any time they can follow that money instead of the congregation. So money from the congregations will just be a little support. Thank you very much.
So I take them one after another. For investment, when you're talking about head office, there are less than 100 people there. And I am the chief scribe, moderator. His work goals have been clearly defined in the Constitution. Starting businesses, I expect you congregations to call us and tell us the models you are using and making money aside your tithing to the local congregation. Because if you are not tithe, you will not be taking the tithe you're supposed to send to us. And myself, I lament that we can do so many things to get money, but we don't. So, when we see CEDA is one of our initiative. If you see Global Empowerment is one of them. We use them to empower you to come for money. As congregations, we take money and you go, and some of you don't pay back. And so anything that belongs to head office, people want to chop it free of charge, but you are our client. So Global Empowerment is there. You come for money, do chapels. Then we say, sit there, contribute money, bring it. Let's build it up so that if you need it, you take it. People refuse to do. They come for the money, they don't pay. And other things that we need to do, which are our duty, constitutional duty, chasing people for money will become the order of the day for us. We are considering some other ways of investing. Sometimes I think the last time the GTS song, they have to come and borrow money from us. When they went, things were not that easy for them. So we are considering another option. It's good to find some other way. Now we try to talk about insurance. We're talking about the capital, the startup capital, very, very huge before they open the door for you. So the global impact is the vehicle we are using to push ourselves to some level that we can generate some money to do things of the sort. Myself and the moderator and the executive, we are thinking of what viable something that we can do. But let me say that local organizations like Lashmi, you can start a block factory. You know, I discussed with you before I left. And you have a big land, you have people living in the community. You can start with pure water factory. And you have the people, the pastor is staying on the compound, he can watch, and money will come. I don't know what is preventing you. Many others, they have the land. Some of the lands are in remote areas. You have the lands. The only land we have now is the head office where we do things over. So, as for business, we are doing some small, but you can't call it business because it is not something that they pay tithes, things like that. That's all. But whether we are doing business or not, as for tithes, we have to do it. So the business will not take the place of tithe. So now myself, I started Rock Factory. I told pastors, you can do something to support your income, and you make sure that you don't neglect the work that God has called you to do. So we are praying for somebody to come to do something. Director of Finance wants to add something.
Yes, please on the to add to the investment. Yes, the head office does investment. What we call investment, we look at our funding. Currently, the head office is looking at the financial market, the money market. So our surplus funds are invested in that, in the short term and the medium term. Though that may not be enough, but we are able to recoup some earnings from there to support our operation. We are looking at creating a reserve, which we have started in our budget. Some of these institutional investment, it needs capital, it's a very capital intensive one. If you want to enter the insurance market, you need huge sums of money. So it is the plan of management that we will get there. We are creating reserves. The little we can make from the money market, we are also making it to support our operation. Our main earning is from the 70%. Over the years, we can't boast of any big investment, but we can say the press. The press is one of our investment head office. The last time management supported in buying some equipment. So it's part of the investment to fund the press. What we are not getting is much work from the market that we have, that is the congregations. We are not getting much from them. We believe that if many of you print from the press, that can give us enough, and the press can make enough profit from them. So that is one of the investments. It's just like the church, maybe at the end of the creation of the reserve and putting up an insurance company. The insurance company will operate as a limited liability company. It will have its legal status, which will operate different from the head office system. If we don't patronize it, then we will now maybe go back and say, what is the investment? But that will be an investment. We hope that with time, with the little plans that are put in place, we get there and we can boast of very huge investment and other very capital intensive investment. Thank you so much.
Can we take three or only three? One is here, two is here, and we take three from here. Thank you.
Wait. You said your other question. Which was it? Yes. That we are also discussing that to write some papers to guide how the transition can be done. The zonal concept is a new thing that we are trying to regularize. If you read our strategic plan document, which the senior committee has accepted and endorsed to be used, it was vividly captured in. And since it is one of our documents, that's why we can use it. But it is for the purpose of church planting and growth. It's not a structure that everybody have to copy. So we move from the head office to presbytery to district and down. But just for the sake of evangelism and busy church planting, that we are doing it.
Number one here.
Right, I am also told some addition has been made by the senior minister, Captain, that the zonal concept is an administrative concept and not a constitutional one. So we reviewed your constitution just recently, and thank you. So we don't have any problem.
Thank you very much for giving the opportunity. I will take it from the last speaker. I have 3 questions. That's regards to the investments. I look around. I know from UP we used to have quite a number of schools. If I look around Global as a church, we do not have much schools compared to the AP. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm looking at a concept, maybe which we can look at. We normally have conferences like this, specific conferences on business forums, where we bring together members of the Global Evangelical Church community to deliberate on concepts that will allow church members to invest in a particular business. What am I saying? If I take a church like the Wayne or the whole of Afienia Zone, a congregation by itself, even if they need to or want to establish a church, normally it will be just a establish a school. Normally it will be a small school which maybe may not even be up to standard. They will be struggling to pay teachers, they will be struggling to do other things. So here's a concept I'm looking at. Why don't we pick a concept, for instance, like establishing an international school where we give opportunity to members of the Global Evangelical Church to invest, put in a capital. Maybe by putting a capital, the church itself, which bears the name Global Evangelical Church as head office, can have a percentage, maybe 20%. The 80% goes to the members. Give them the opportunity. Let us build a proper international school where people will invest. Because if we go by the standards we have now, we have EP church schools, maybe some global schools. The money we make out of that is nothing. That is a hand-to-mouth approach. That is what I'm looking at. So I'm giving just an example. Now coming to our records. I believe we had a strategic plan, 5-year and all that for the congregations. And one of it was about communication and our documentation. I'm suggesting, we have a lot of forms that we've been filling of late. But one of it, of course,
Please, you just go direct to the question.
Okay.
Directly to the question.
Okay, my point is, why do we have a website where we have ability to enter data and have records on all these forms that we are filling? Like, for instance, the statistics. So that in future, every church or congregation
Thank you.
Yes, then the last one, please, I looked at the statistics. I've also been wondering why we don't have the youth column. We almost have adults, we have men and women. Yeah. But the youth is important for the church.
Starting from the last one, the youth national coordinator drew our attention to that. He wrote a letter to that effect. You see, the church is that of God. And each one of us he has called have a duty to contribute to its success. So write your business proposal and bring it. When we read through it and we bring it to the committee, they look at it, they think it is viable, we will implement it. Everybody in Global Evangelical Church can write a proposal to the head office. I have a very big file that contains lots and lots of proposals. So nobody stops you. Maybe what you are seeing, I cannot see. Because of where I stand, this is where I'm seeing. But you sit here, they are looking this way. So those down can see something you will not see. But you can't force us to see what you are seeing because we are not in your position. What you can do is that you put it on paper, make it very clear and plain, and send it to us. We sit down, we read through. If there is something to carry and work with, we will do that. Now, for schools, the churches that are doing very well and doing well, even that was me and others, are individuals who build chapels and give to them. They draw the chapel. You come and tell them that you want to build one and hand it over to the church. And they are spreading everywhere. You know, so we need a lot of orientation so that people can build a school and hand it over to the Global Evangelical Church to man from. There are schools that we have in the water region from Member, Baton area, the clusters of schools that was given to us. We are still taking care of them, and the government is coming in to help us. We were built by some other organizations. They handed them over to us. The ones we have in our own setting, for example, Community 4, Ashama, and sometimes when we attempt to introduce policies to guide them how to go about the work, they tell us that it's their own school, we shouldn't come closer to it. Now, if we want to start a school and ask people to come and invest in it so that we share the profit, it's going to be a very complicated something that has to be thought through carefully. Somebody put up a whole design in a school in Obuasi. He invited us to come and partner with him, but when we examined the whole thing from head to toe, the legal expert said we should not venture that one. So whatever model is it that you want us to copy, you have to study it very well and see the complexities that go with it, so that we don't end up sacking our church members because they think that we have made an investment which we don't want to give to them. But recently we bought some parcel of land, close to 2 acres or something like that. We started a church in Accra. We are thinking of a big school in addition to that one. So the head office, whatever small we have, we are also doing our small one. But all the fine things you are saying, head office, start them in your congregation. And even if we don't take charge of it, it can take care of your local congregation and it will help us to grow. Yeah, so that's what I can say.
Number 2, please go straight to the question.
Website, so you are here, you don't know that Global Evangelical Church has a website. We send forms to you, we gave you where you can enter data, you have everything about you at the head office. You took the forms, you refuse to fill them. So these things, we hear them at conference over and over. That tells us that people are not familiar with their church. We said anybody at all can enter his own data into our database for the administrator, the admin director to school for us. We organize seminar for business people at Tessana. We send separated letters all through. We, the pastors, team, some few handful of people. We have been calling for those things, but people think that if they want to do business, it is not the church that will call and bring them for business. There are a lot of business people in our congregations. You can organize them for your church. When I was in Angola, I was using Mr. Dominguez, and others who were training the people. It's not necessary to be organized by the head of it before you are there. Any very creative pastor can put in place models that will help his members to develop. So don't wait until the head office does it. If it is good for people to go and develop and there's no doctrinal attachment to it that is destroying anybody, feel free to do it. But you can write a proposal to us. When you look at the model, then we also see how we can add to it.
Please, your name first before I start speaking. Number 2. Your name, congregation.
My name is Michael Kwade. That is our chapel. My question goes to the church planting concepts. We know that the situation in the city to plant a new church is very difficult, but the situation in the villages may differ, because there we have the land, maybe the people are close by, and the lands. So I want to suggest this concept that will it be better for us as a church to look at it that way, that those at the city as a church, we ensure that in every district we have a very vibrant church operating in every district of the capitals in Ghana. A Global Evangelical Church in every district in Ghana, we have a church which is very vibrant. Then, if we can also look at that concept, it will help.
Yes.
Then, I have the second one about the investment and the business concept. Like other churches are doing, can we also do it like a policy drive to bring those affluent and big men that we have among ourselves to develop a business concept for them, like you mentioned in your answer to I think the last person. Maybe if it is a chapel we want to build, if it is some kind of we have as a Global Evangelical Church, we have very vast land at Menu and other places. If we can develop some business concept with those lands and then bring the people together, they can help us build those places into a status that we want, and maybe the church will enter into arrangement if it is build and rent concept of the life. That can also help so that those land that we have ideas can also be put into good use, and those business that we want to go into, we can also bring them together, maybe to lead a role. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother, for your passionate appeal. And like I said, where you see, determine what you see. So you are seeing something and you are very passionate about it, yes. But when we see it, we also see things differently. The Manu land we are talking about, you don't have any land at Manu. The land is for Bible study and prayer group. And when we have to start going into agreement with them to sign MOU before we start doing anything on that. The Global Evangelical Church hadn't bought any land there. It's the Manu land. It's that of Bible study and prayer. They too, they are not just willing to release it for our use just like that. They wanted to get conditions properly put in place. That's why we are here today. The one that the church itself bought 100 plots of land, which I'm not supposed to tell you. And we only realized that somebody else registered that land ahead of us. He bought it in 1974. But when we made a search, we didn't see anything like that. By the time we were trying to register our land, he's registered everything. And it became a tug of war. We followed. Now, the owners of the land said that litigation can take us so many years. They went to show us another place very far away from where we thought we want. And so, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, we sent people to go and capture that land so that we don't lose it all together. So, it is not as if the leadership doesn't know that there are things like that. If you buy land in Ghana and you don't document it well and you want to build, and know of the build, operate, and none of them will put their money into it. So we are working at them one step at a go. And we know that we are going to get there one day. I hope all your cases have been addressed. Which one? Which one? Oh, that is what they are telling you, the zonal concept matter involves all those.
Number 3 is here.
Then if you go home as a way of small research, take our district and check all the districts in Ghana and see whether we can find our churches in there. We are trying that. We want that apart from the national capitals, then we go to regional capitals and then the district capitals before we get to the hinterlands. That's how the Gospel Commission was given.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. I think where the...
Your name?
My name is Richmond Gandhi from Atlanta. Where the other there are a lot of forms that are sent to us to fill, but they are in hard copy. So you actually have to print them out, fill them, scan them before you send them. So the question is, can they be developed in a soft copy form so that once we get online and we fill them, then the head office can generate whatever data they want out of it, because all over they will get the figures to use. And my second issue is about the zonal church planting. When you look at my zone, for instance, I may say we have 2.5 congregations. Because the other ones do not.
So tell us what your issue is about the zonal church. Are you incapable of planting one?
There are those congregations in the classroom, and they don't look attractive enough to the youth. They have to go pack out the decks in the classroom, go and bring their distance, then after closing, they move them out. A whole lot of, so they will not go. So let's rather look at a way of moving those congregations into the classroom. If we can combine two and get them and land somewhere, so that we rather build those ones first before we venture into planting new ones. Thank you.
You see, I have been reading my Bible all these years. I have never heard God or told to any complaints where they call people to work. Moses did so many complaints. The reason why he did not go to Israel, to Egypt. So I am wondering whether these complaints, some of them, when you put them before God, you will keep them. You also can decide that we are to either plant a new church or grow plateau. You also can decide that they want to move you from classroom, but you shouldn't use your situation to dictate the national agenda. That's why we make provision for the two. So, we will not come to force you to plant a new church, but we think that is good to come together to do it, because if you have 2.5 churches and you cannot do it alone, then we say combine and do it. What wrong have we done? Because we know you can't do it as a single congregation. So we say, why don't you come together and put forces together to do it? That's what we are saying. You know, and when you do that, if you take away selfishness, the church will grow, and we'll all be happy. Now the other thing you said, and we send Google Forms, we send them several times. So even when we send hard copies, we sometimes ask that people can fill it through Google. Mostly the forms we send them in soft copies to your chairman. They print them and bring to you. Because when we send them Google, people claim that even where we are, we don't have internet, we don't have this, and the complaints are reading. And when you say bring them out of it, or put some on your file, what we said to you, have it on your file. Will it be in the Google and you get it in the file? You must have a hard copy on your files. So it's a welcome news, but we send them. When people are interested in the Google, we send it to them, they finish it, and then send to us. Now we even have an IT expert in the head office working on all those things. That is even easier to analyze than the hard copies. So that one will be soon addressed. But for Global Evangelical Church, there will always be people who cannot do the Google one because you have gone to school and reached some level that you can just do it. So we send the two, and whichever way you can answer conveniently, that will be done.
I think we have exhausted our numbers, but let's take two. One, two. At the back. No. Back. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Emma. I'm from Pampa. The gentleman said they are printing.
Please direct the question. Direct the question straight.
If the printing press is depending on us and we they are not making business. What is the way forward to go into the market? Can we have a good marketing team? We have billboards in town. We can take those marketing and do those businesses. If we want to depend on us, then it means what we want to achieve, we might not achieve it. I don't know how many people have businesses that they have to bring to you, and have you cash for them? That is my concern.
Yo, thank you for your input, but why should it be depend on you? Why do you think we shouldn't depend on you? Yeah, so we were looking at this. In fact, I am the chairman of the press board, and we brought together people from Church of Pentecost, Assemblies of God, Assembly Press. We went around bringing all type and all of them to have consultation with them to know how they got to where they are. Church of Pentecost, for example, have a very big press. I went there to inspect the things myself. They told us that when they produce materials for church consumption, no pastor dares reject them. If you reject it, you don't sell it, then you are out of business. Because that will keep the church going. But here we bring materials to you. You keep it in the pastor's office, you don't sell it. You don't sell it, you don't sell the money. Then we say, okay, before we produce, just indicate how much or how many you want and can afford, so that we produce that one specially for you, and then reserve the rest of the money for outsiders. You will not also fill the forms. And when you fill the forms, you will not send the money. When you don't send the money, we send the material, you reject the materials. So it's a very complex something. Now, we have put in a new strategy, and we are here to meet with the executive to share with them how we can move away from the traditional way we are running the press. In fact, one thing bothering us as executive is that our church people are sometimes apathetic toward the things of the church. They are always thinking that something outside is better than this. And when we are thinking like that, we can never ever get anywhere at all. Meanwhile, Church of Pentecost, they respected us. They think that Global is a force to reckon with. But when they hear some of these things among us, you can't do that. They print it, they send it to you, President Chairman. This one is your quota. Make sure that all this material gets finished. If you don't, you don't pay your salary. That's how Pentecost moves. If you are comparing us to us, if you bring in that enforcement, you say that these people are there to kill us. Yes. You cannot say you will sell it. So they give it to you. You sell it, and then they comment you for that. And so we are going together, they came to advise us, so we are drawing a new strategy. And I hope that that will be the game changer for us. We have employed some more people. The machines we have, some of them, they are obsolete. But even to get the newer one to buy, you have to invest a lot of money. The people you are expecting us to employ, if you get them, you have to pay well. And if the press is struggling and not being able to stand on its feet, it's difficult to be adding numbers like that. But we discuss all of them. We are going to come out with the executive and see how we can all improve our press. Thank you.
Number 2. The last.
Thank you, Stephen. My concern has to do with the press as well. When we were asked to place orders for the materials, we did so. It concerns mainly the devotional material, the work. We placed orders for both English and everyone's. When the delivery came, only everyone's beyond the number we requested came. And the 10 members are not recognized. When they come, they ask for the English one. I tell them it's not there. They go away. So that everyone, and they are not able to sell. I don't know why
That's what they say, that you don't keep them to yourself. If it's a devotional material, you have only 1 year as lifespan. If you know you have any challenge, last time I called the press manager, do you have any material standing there that people have not called? Some of them only 1, some of them 2, some of them 3. But some congregations may be looking for those materials, but they are in your chapel. That's what we are saying, that you order what you can consume, and when you bring it to you, you pay the money. Then you order and refuse to pay, or you do not order at all. But the fact is that the press, when they see this one, they put the English one into the system, they cannot add the English one to it. The one in the system has to get finished before they move on to the other. And it is only one press that does all the printings for us. So when they are running the thing, we give timelines that from this time to that time you have to finish with this material. You, the one ordering, you come at the time you want. By that time, another thing is in the system. That which is in the system has to finish before they can take care of your own. So we were saying that from now, by this time, conference time, all orders are set. When you take it from you, then we give the segmentation of the things that you want. So that by November, when you meet your pastors, will take all the materials to be in this. Chairman will bring them to you, and then you can start using them at the beginning of the year. So they are teaching programs, but they are not beyond our solutions. We can still overcome them. So trust that God is still in it in Christ. Amen. Now somebody's question here is asking that Koksu week this year, is it going to